JMats here, GenerationD20.com, bringing you the exciting conclusion of my pre-release Innistrad draft. I'm 1-1 right now. I played one draft before this. Of course, that one I won. Not only won, I dominated, but I didn't record that. So instead, you got to see, more typical play out of me, which is winning a couple matches, or maybe one match in a Swiss round. And, yeah, the hand's keepable. It's not great. I have the volley that I can cast. Um, really, I figure I have two ways to stop him early. If I can get a forest, I'm going to be in pretty good shape there. Oh, good. Oh, Bob's talking to me again. Oh, and this guy says, sorry for being late. And I accept your apology, sir. Although he continues to seem to be late. Might just be how he goes through life. We'll hope he doesn't make us wait much longer. I would definitely like to get to playing sometime soon. Waiting to play is always tougher when you don't really know what your plays are going to be. Like if I was sitting here with a 2-drop and a 3-drop and I already kind of had my first couple turns planned out, that would be great. But instead I'm sitting here thinking, am I ever going to be able to cast a creature? And will his creatures be such that I can actually use Bonds of Faith on him? So that's kind of what I'm thinking as I'm sitting here waiting and waiting and waiting. And okay, I come. Well, good. I wish you. No, I don't think I want to say that. I'm glad you've. Probably still don't want to say that. Welcome, sir. I think that's safe. Okay, another card I can't play. But there's a good chance he'll be laying out an early threat, and whether it's enough of a threat to kill or not, we will have to see. And on turn 2, he does nothing, just like I did nothing. Ah, it's too bad we haven't been casting werewolves. We would have had a whole lot of nothing. I'm gonna take these cobbled wings and learn to fly again. No, I'm not going to. They're just gonna sit there unused. So what is he? What is he up to? Bloody tome. Well, at this rate, he's gonna mill me with that card alone, because I will apply no pressure. And I got the lumber knot. He is not what I wanted. I don't think I actually ever want to draft him again. And someone out there told me, hey, you should. And you know what I say to them? I should not. Okay, so this guy maybe is going full in on mill with that land and the curse. It would seem he is giving me the mill strategy, which, hey, I admire that. I, in pretty much any format, would like to do that. I don't always have the guts to go for it, but I'm glad that this guy does. It pains me to see that he milled one of my forests. Because even if I could get out that shepherd, there's a good chance I'm not casting anything. So I could just take that shepherd and transform him, and he's presenting very little in the way of a challenge. Now that's interesting. If I can get a forest, Boneyard Worm will be enormous, and I could make him fly. Yeah, that 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 all focuses or hinges upon actually getting a forest, and it doesn't seem to be great. And another card that mills me. I think he did. I mean, I don't think his deck is really that strong at this point. I think my deck is that weak, or is showing that weak. But so far, everything he has shown, and he has 7 cards in his hand, so he's not showing a lot, but everything he's shown tells me he's mill, and mill all the way. Mill and proud. So, let's see. What's next? Oh, I know what's next. I'll throw 2 of my cards in the graveyard. And how about one of those is a land? That would make me happy. Well, hold the phone. Somebody just brought out a 1/1 first striker. And he can fly, too. I'm sure he is quaking in his oversized leather computer chair. So, what comes next? Of course, because that way I can cast it again, and then next turn he can flash it back. I think he's actually gonna kill me. He's gonna, I mean, I'm getting dangerously low on my library, and by doing that, he effectively bought himself 2 turns. I don't have enough mana to actually do something exciting. Probably have to pitch the outcasts here. I don't see myself getting to 5 ever. And so, is he going to? Or does he have something better to do with his mana? Yup. Well played, sir. Well played. So now I'm at 11. And by that I mean 10. And that gives me 4 turns if he did nothing else other than me drawing my cards and him pitching 2 into the graveyard. So, and this is one of those. No, I'd have 4 turns from now. It'd be 3/3, and I'd still be at 1, but on that 4th turn I'd draw my card, and so I'd lose. So 3 turns after this one. So I need to be able to deal 5 each turn. And if he can convert, if this guy doesn't cast something. Oh, but now he has that, so I don't even have that many turns. Huh. And so rather than just mill me out, he wants to Trepidation Blade me for the mill. A little greedy, don't you think? Oh, and he didn't Trepidation Blade me for the mill, he Dream Twisted me. Dream Twist me once, shame on you. Dream Twist me twice, I concede. Oh, and he was casting Curiosity. Point is, that really sucked. I'm gonna put that in to kill the enchantment. Kinder Catch seems kind of big. And go. And now we wait. So the question becomes, was that just an inferior deck? Was that a bad draw? Um, I know it was a bad draw, and it might have even been a bad keep. And if it's a bad keep, then that's totally on me. Well, anything is totally on me, because who else was playing? But, you know, if it's my bad luck, I have a feeling that my luck may change. If it's my bad skill, well, that's why I'm playing. I'm working on that. But if it's a bad keep, it kind of goes to skill, but something I need to work on. Here, I did keep, but I realized that with the amulet, I can search up a plains, so I'll be able to cast the priest. And again, I have some early answers. And if he presents nothing, I could even put Bond of Faith on my priest and start attacking, because last turn, other than that uh, Death Touch rat at the very end, he had nothing showing up. Okay, so I'll have to use the amulet this turn. So I might as well get my plains and put it out. And that way, next turn, if I draw plains, I'd be able to cast the Chapelgeist instead of my Fox or whatever. The Fox may end up actually being more useful to kill his curse if that happens again. Oh, and he has his hexproof, unblockable guy. Sure enough, it worked out. I drew into the plains like I had hoped. And next turn I'll be able to cast two more guys. The Fox and the Cleric. And might be able to soar above his head. And he's... Oh, I thought he was going to bounce Silent Departure, my guy. But no, even better. He's going to draw 2 cards a turn. And Silent Departure, my guy. Terrific. So he's going to win the card advantage war. And even though I have a Geist Flame and a guy who can tap, I cannot target his nasty little hexproof monster. So I need to come up with better answers. Right now I think I'm better off casting the 2 creatures. It's more mana effective. It gets 3 power on the board instead of 2. And unless he presents a threat, then I'm going to want to be attacking. And I think the only way I could beat him is if I race. And if I race a lot faster than I probably deserve to be able to race. So we will have to see if I'm able to make this possible. I think I'm far enough away from mill that dealing the 2 damage is worth more than sacking my Fox. It's nice to have the Fox there as an option. But it may be that if I can get in and deal some damage. Now this is an interesting one, because I could put out the Geist and then use travel preparations to basically get in for 2 more damage, diversify what he's going to end up targeting with that Silent Departure, and I've taken down a quarter of his life total, which is not insignificant. Now on his turn, well, who knows what he's going to do on his turn. Can't even really forecast at this point. But if he does draw land, then Silent Departure, I would probably Silent Departure the Fox. Then I'd have to cast it again and then sack it if I wanted to. He may be also waiting to see if I use it a second time. And again, that's okay. He has the mana, so he could do it again. Or he could do it, yeah, right now if he wanted. Ooh, and instead he's going to be going for the major mill factor. And what all am I going to lose? Oh, one card. And a land which I didn't really want next turn. That's not bad at all. So now if I flash back my travel preparations, let's see, how do I want to do it? What if I flashed it back on the Fox and the Chapelgeist, maybe? And then I can cast the Bonds of Faith on my Priest. And that means I'll be attacking for 11. And he will be forced to, or hoping, to draw an answer to multiple creatures next turn. He probably will have to chump with his hexproof guy. So it puts me in a pretty good place. Also, potentially, I could tap with the priest to get through if needed or if desired. So we'll have to see about that. And on his turn, we get his milling land. Trying to think of anything in black or blue that deals with multiple creatures. There's a white card that you can flash back to tap to. You'd have to do more than tap them to hold on to victory here, because I still have 22 cards in my library. Okay, so I think what that says to me is I can attack in, because he couldn't block the Chapelgeist. He has to block the 2/4/4s, or the 2/4 powers, to survive. And both of his creatures will die. Only one of mine will die, and he'll be at 1 life. And I'll have 2 creatures on the board. So, as far as I'm concerned, that pretty much is a win. Oh, and it looks like he's desperation attack. Maybe hoping to draw a card that'd give him an answer. But for 1 black mana, it's going to be hard to come up with an answer. Okay, so I did win. In the end, it worked out. And here we go with the final round. That game went much better than the first game. And he still was going for the mill strategy, so from what I've seen, what he's shown, his deck really is like mill exclusive, and it may work against someone and it may not. You have to get 9. Hmm. So let's see. Um, in this match, it's keeping something questionable once again. I really do have more forests than any other card or any other land. I swear I do. But I'm instead stuck with plains and mountains. And I have 3 mountains in my deck. Why not start with 2 of them in my opening hand? On the plus side, the priest is going to buy me time. And I know I've said that every single round or every single game this round. As well, it'll buy me time. But if I can get a forest, and I know I've said that before too, things just really start to look up. Also, getting that urgent exorcism is huge because of one of the cruxes of his mill strategy is being able to bloody tome me for 2 a turn. And so if I can answer it with the exorcism, more power to me. Come on, just 1 forest would help me immensely. Immensely, immensely, immensely. So his 1 blue silent departure. Yep. Oh, but does he not have another land? He kept a 1 land hand. Hmm. So he is kind of up a creek without a paddle. I have found a way to get my green, even if I don't have it this turn. Next turn I can get it, play it, and play out my wolf. Oh, and now he drew into a land. This is his turn 4. Wow. So I must have missed it. He actually missed 2 land drops so far. Not an issue for me. All I'm doing is hitting land. Um, so the rats, I'd rather have the rats kill the priest than the wolf. If I'm going to have to trade. Some would say keep the priest around and just tap down the rats every turn, but that's going to take up mana. And I'm okay getting some creatures in the graveyard also, because I have that worm, and he's completely useless until something dies. I have exorcism mana up, should he cast a spirit and or a curse. And it looks like he cast a spirit. Well, now it's a 2 for 1. Now I pretty much have to kill it. I wasn't sure whether I'd bother otherwise, but at this point, It's effective use of my mana, and so I kind of have to. So I can use that to get another forest. I certainly am sitting with a lot of land. But I'll get out that worm, that way if he starts milling me, I will have a bit of a answer, or at least it should. Well, it won't stop him from milling me, because like I said, that's his win strategy. If he doesn't mill me, he doesn't win. So I think he's pretty much going to have to. And deranged assistant. Unfortunately, his deranged assistant could trade with my worm at this point. I am not getting any help as far as cards. He's mana screwed and I'm mana flooded. And in the end, we both lose. Although my board state is preferable to his board state, even with just two kind of crappy creatures. A handful land. He is bringing out something for, let's see, for 4 it could be, Juggernaut. Well, the good thing is that we'll have to attack. Well, I could cast it. Or I could attack with my Boneyard Worm and see if he'll block. That way I can gain 5 life. My Boneyard Worm is pretty useless right now. Instead, I'm able to get through with 1. And, you know, if his Juggernaut attacks, so be it. That means I'm going to have a pretty open board to attack into, unless he's able to kill something and flop it back up. And he has a silent departure still, but he doesn't have enough mana for that. I wonder what he's thinking. Now with the Juggernaut, the other option would be to double block, but I don't fear him. He's the one in trouble, not me. So let him deal 5 and figure out how he's gonna get it to be useful again. Okay. Now he's dealing 7. And oh, he's dream twisting. And not a creature in the lot. So he's dealing 7, but I will be dealing anywhere from 5 to 8 of my own. Oh, now that is nice. So you're not going to deal 7 again. You're just going to stay there. So now I don't have to worry about trading and having creatures die, because when they die, I have the good fortune when that thing springs back up that it won't be doing anything. It'll just be sitting there. So either he takes 8 and I lose my Boneyard Worm, which, if he's willing to trade a blocker for that, and effectively set me up so that next turn, well, not quite next turn. Oh, and he is. So I need to get myself to 8. Now I'm at 5, and yes, that guy untaps, but who cares? He's not going anywhere. And now he actually dropped a mana, so he's down to 3 to come up with a relevant answer to 2 pretty significant threats. That's what I like to see. So here we go again. Another chance to, I don't know, prove his mettle, or I don't know what he's doing, but maybe he's thinking about conceding. Nice thing is he can't cast Silent Departure because he lost his deranged, whatchamacallit, and it would be very hard to come up with a card that could win it for him at this point. Wonder what he's thinking. Let's see, he could have a Stitch Drake. Makeshift Mauler would present some trouble. That does nothing. That's essentially telling me you win. And that probably means that was the only thing he could do. Well, at least the guy has a sense of humor. If you're gonna die, you might as well die with a skeletal grimace on your face. So attack in with those guys for the victory. And that's 3 up, 2 down. Wins a couple packs. Can't wait for this format to go live for good.